bring the meeting to order. This is our November planning session, otherwise known as a caucus meeting. Opportunity for citizens to be heard. Pam Hobber, you're up.
Okay. So I stand up?
You can.
I've
Whatever
never
you'd
done
like
that
to do.
before. I can just stay here.
You can
Tell
lay
me
down
people.
if you want.
Sure. So I grew up in Harmerville. I bought a house in Cheswick because Cheswick was always the greatest town out of the three in the school district. But my son was little. So I bought a house in Cheswick. And what I'm seeing is it's going downhill. The businesses on the main road are disgusting. The jet ski place has garbage everywhere. The contingent workforce staffing, she has garbage all over her place. And I heard there is a new zoning officer, and I wanted to meet him, and I want to know what we as residents can do to make these businesses start cleaning up their properties and quit making our town look so trashy.
Well, we've been in the process of addressing jet ski for the last 5 years.
Okay.
And it's been a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a new zoning officer. I know that the zoning officer has already talked to them and is looking at the ordinances that we need to enforce and is looking at the proper procedure to do it.
Okay.
So that's ongoing right now. But
Who is the new zoning officer? Are they here?
We share your concern. What's that?
Is the new zoning officer here?
No, he's not.
Okay.
But we can, if you contact the office.
So that's what I did. They told me to come here.
Oh, well, if you want to meet him, we'll have him give you a call.
Okay, that'll work.
So we need to, contact the office, give them your number, have them have Sam Sack call you.
Okay, now what about the place next door? The alleyway is a mess.
That's on the list.
Okay, because
We
if it's
had
the
actually,
residents,
well,
if
we
the
had
residents' place is
actually,
bad.
we had actually taken that to court, and because of a procedural technicality, we're going to have to do it again.
Okay. All right.
Thanks for your concern, though.
Thanks.
Andra?
Yeah. First thing I want to say, I think I told you and the mayor knows, I'm the president of the union down here. So if you have any questions concerning anything, you can come ask me. I want transparency between us. I don't want anything hidden. That being said, second thing, you threatened me. I didn't appreciate it.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Go ahead.
I didn't appreciate it. I'm putting you and the rest of the council on notice, okay? It was unnecessary and uncalled for.
Like I told you, I
It was
had the best of
unnecessary.
intentions.
You did not when you threatened me.
Could you address me?
So,
Don't address
Well-
the council people.
well, council, you are all responsible.
Then
So-
address me.
So,
That's okay. I'm
Second-
sorry you felt that way.
second thing is, I understand somebody on this council made a complaint about the police concerning an incident. I want you to know that number one, that tent was in Harmer. It was Harmer's jurisdiction, not ours. Harmer was notified about that tent like a week and a half prior to that incident. Harmer, instead of taking care of it, called me down and we discussed it, and they basically gave me permission to take care of it. Now I went up there behind the residents, told the residents I will be behind your residents, looking at this tent, whoever is in it. Turned out the guy was wanted. I did arrest him, I took him to jail. I have court next week. So before anyone makes a complaint about the police, please get your facts straight, okay?
Well,
And if
in actuality, what I know about it is that we received letters from residents making the complaint.
Right.
The council people weren't making the complaint.
But one council person said, oh, the police here aren't doing their job. We did do our job, okay? It wasn't our jurisdiction. And in order for us to go into someone else's jurisdiction and take care of something, number one, we have to have a mutual aid agreement. Number two, we have to have their permission to actually do anything in their town. So when they called me over and we discussed it, they gave me permission because they didn't want to do it. Now somebody went up there then afterwards, removed the tents. I don't know if it was our maintenance people or if it was theirs, but they threw them in our dumpster out here. So I don't know why, because again, that wasn't our jurisdiction. But I don't know who did that, that's fine. But I want to say, You know, before you complain about if we're doing our job, please come ask us. We'll be happy to tell you what went on. If you want to talk about people not doing their job, a certain person on top of the hill in another jurisdiction was down in Cheats talking with an individual for a good long time. Let that individual get in a car and drive away. He was pulled over by a Cheswick officer. He was a drunk driver. Someone want to explain to me why that person did not know what an intoxicated person looks like? Why he let him in the car? I know why. It was one of their maintenance workers. So let's talk about that. I mean, you want to talk about people not doing their job? Cheswick's doing their job. That's all I have to say.
Jill Studeny?
Hi, this is my first meeting, I've never been here before, and I
Welcome.
understand that last month you had a decision, you were voting on a decision about whether to keep the police or to subcontract, whatever you want to call it, with another borough. I don't know if you came to a decision, but we moved here to Cheswick 4 years ago. We love it here, it's safe here. I lived in the city for years, 26 years. I don't want to go back to a bad area. We moved here because it's safe. I love the fact that our police just continuously ride up and down the streets. I just convinced a friend of mine to move here, and she's like, oh my gosh, the police are everywhere, it's so safe. If you guys subcontract, or whatever you call it, up to Springdale.
What we're in the process of doing is looking at a merger,
I understand that.
not what you're talking about.
Well, it's basically the same thing, though. They don't give a crap about us. They have their own
No,
jurisdiction.
what a merger would be is basically a separate police department that is for both communities.
Right, that doesn't know us, doesn't
Same
give a
people.
crap about
Same
us.
people.
Oh, really? So she'll be on the force?
Yeah,
No,
Officer Miller?
if she wants.
no.
Okay, so wait. My question is,
What we're
we
saying,
have a
all we're-
super safe area, and I understand that there's money issues and everything else. Please raise the taxes. Please do not get rid of our police force. We're here. We have a fabulous neighborhood. I don't want to see it go down the garbage. I don't want to be like Springdale. We'll move, and so will every other good citizen of Cheswick. I'm not staying here if we're not gonna have a police force. I want a police force here, and I want to be heard.
We agree with you.
Okay.
Anybody else? Nobody else? Meeting minutes?
I mean, I can chime in on that if you'd like.
No.
Okay.
Meeting minutes? Review the October meeting minutes. If you have any questions, let me know.
So that's it? That's it?
Allegheny Valley Joint Sewage Authority?
Yes. Basically, they have the same thing. They have $13,000 in overflow for the month of September. And also KLN is continuing to design the main line to the plant, which will be up the first part of the project for the water sewage system going down. Gary says probably after the first of the year, he'll come to a meeting to explain things that are, really kicking in yet. That's it.
Mayor?
I'll have a full report next week. I just wanted to comment on their comments. They hit the nail right on the head as far as I'm concerned. We need to be aware of what we're doing before we move forward in this. And that's all I have right now.
Anything presenting? Zoning officer? Treasurer's report? General Office Administration? Maybe we'll fit you in. General Office Administration, can I have a motion to hire Lorraine Zebron?
I make the motion to approve the hire of Lorraine Z. Bryan as an independent contractor at the rate of $20 an hour under the direction of Council President to act as an office and quality control manager and to oversee transition to the new borough secretary.
Do I have a second? Somebody?
I second that.
We have a motion and a second to hire Lorraine Zebron. Any discussion? basically, we're having her there to do the transition, plus she has a lot of really good office experience, so I would foresee her looking at the quality control relative to the water and basically the accounting system.
Would this be a temporary situation or part-time?
It's temporary.
I did not understand the overview of what we're doing.
Yeah, she's bridging the gap and will continue on until the borough secretary gets up to speed.
I agree.
Okay. Water administration?
We didn't vote on that? We didn't vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Community Link Customer Support provided on-site comprehensive review of system functionality on 10/24/18 to office staff and council members. The meeting objected to share best practices and streamline the water billing process and transition to a new borough secretary. This was followed by an on-site full-day transactional training on 10/29/18 for staff. Secondly, meter readings were completed and entered in MuniLink for billing. Exceptions under review for action week of 11/12. Fourth quarter bills were to be mailed to residents November 19th. And we received a DEP notice of violation for failure to report under Chapter 110. We have 30 days to resolve the violation, which is to submit an annual report on water purchased and water sold. Work in progress to complete this in 30 days when we return.
Any discussion? If there's any concerns, let me know later. Zoning development and ordinances. Michael,
I can,
is that you?
no, that's
That'd be
Kathy
Cece.
now.
Well, let me go through that. We received a notice of appeal from the Land Development Corporation regarding the shopping center, and which is related to the zoning issue with O'Reilly. So it appears to be kicking it back into the same situation. They're appealing our decisions, and I guess it's back in court. What's it say? Or solicitor notified a writ via telephone on the 8th and receives copy of said writ via email. You know anything about any of that?
Yeah.
We'll have that later.
Mm-hmm.
Public safety and health.
Okay, so you might recall that in October we had placed a bid for our refuse contract, which is expiring at the end of the year. And those bids were to have been opened on Friday the 9th at 3:30. We had received 3 sealed bids on that date. They were opened. We received bids from Waste Management, Vogel, and Green Ridge, which is, you'll see on their Trucks Republic. All the bidders were present, and I have a breakdown of some of the information that we can.
And we'll do it in executive session.
Okay, that's all I have then.
Okay. Budget planning. Frank?
Well, everybody should review the bill list, we'll vote on it. The next two, I'm not familiar with.
The TAN is the tax anticipation loan. So we're anticipating we should probably get moving with the tax anticipation loan for next year in about $125,000. So we'll look into the process. We may vote on that Tuesday just to get the ball rolling. We need to get the right verbiage. We're working hard in the office. Lorraine's putting a lot of time in trying to keep this going, and we have some input as far as new borough secretaries that we'll talk about a little bit later too. The LED lighting, I had thought that we voted to
Go with LED,
To go
from
with
Mercury
LED
to
lighting,
LED or street lighting.
but I don't know whether we voted on it. We can't find it in the.
Well, let's vote on it.
I think we missed the deadline for that, is what it was for this year, but we could do it then. I'm just trying to
Okay,
recall.
but I have a document to sign, so we can do it now. If you want to make a vote, good question. Yeah. Okay, where are we at here? Pensions and insurance, anything?
Nope.
Parks and recreation?
We have completed the pavilion over there, and everything worked out great. In the spring, we're gonna get a nice picnic table for the 8th there. So that's finished and looks great. Also, Santa will be coming Christmas in Cheswick on Saturday, December 8th at 6 o'clock. Cookies, Santa, coloring books, it's a great thing. It's really nice. Rudolph, and it costs the rec board maybe under $300. Phenomenal results for a few dollars. Free for everybody.
Who did the shingles?
Ireland
Ireland.
roofing. We'll maybe get a picture of that in the spring and give them credit for their contribution.
Okay.
That's
Did it?
work.
Great. The NIMS, the National Incident Management System. Apparently, we are being asked by Bruno to sign the National Incident Management System document, but we don't have it in our packet right now. It's pretty boilerplate, and Michael seemed to think that we do that on a yearly basis. Do you remember anything, Frank?
NIMS.
I think the county requires it or something.
Oh,
Anyhow, we'll
Yeah.
we'll
Okay,
we'll get it and put it in the packet, and if we
Not
have
real
to,
familiar with it, but I remember us doing something.
so we'll get it out to everybody, and we'll, if appropriate, we'll vote on it at the next meeting. Anything from Todd?
Yeah, they bought that equipment.
Oh, good.
So the next step is probably Dave and somebody, probably would have been Ian, but might be you, Kathy, for now. Sorry. But to find out, to get involved, because it's a Bobcat, and the Bobcat has a thing that breaks up the cement.
Mm-hmm.
It's a roller. It's a piece of equipment that you can fill in the cracks with tar, and it's a asphalter, like you see.
Mm-hmm.
Can do, I think, 20 feet, or 15 feet maybe. It would be probably good for 2 passes on if we wanted to do some alleys. So it's a matter of it's as much ours as any other community. There's trailers. The idea is that communities would work together to help each other whenever you had a paving project. So our action basically is probably to take at least Dave and somebody that's going to be involved with planning this kind of stuff, choose some projects, and then maybe next year consider doing something, if not next year, the year after. But along with this purchase comes training.
Mm-hmm.
So they would be trained in using the equipment. So the roller and the Bobcat, I mean, are definitely things we could probably use. The equipment that you use to fill in the cracks with tar, that's another thing that we probably could use.
So in preparing for the budget, we need to find projects that possibly we could use to.
Right, and the bottom line is it's going to be mostly labor because the equipment's going to be minimal.
When's the equipment come in? When
It's
they have
here.
It now? They have it now.
It's here, they're not going to start using it until next year. But there is going to be some training, so, you know, getting started is always hard. Now, if we opt in, it might cost us $1,000 or $2,000 a year to pay for part of the insurance and for some maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't volunteer for us to store any of the equipment here, but we can. The equipment's going to be stored at different communities. So I wasn't sure of the availability of the
We're gonna
garage
have to
there.
get that upgraded and we have a
Right,
lot of
so
work
if we
to do
wanted
with
to
that.
store the roller or the Bobcat or something like that. And like I said, the whole idea is it's a group effort where it's understood that one community probably can't do it themselves, so you know, you would plan something and then the community, different borough workers from different communities would get together and do a project and then maybe do another one. So, you know, the labor it'll be the biggest cost there versus subbing it out.
Any questions?
So, I'll continue to be the interface, but it's, it's not, the streets isn't my committee, so, sorry Kathy, it would have been,
We'll work on it.
and I think the borough engineer, the borough secretary, it's gonna be a while before
Right, we'll
he gets up to speed, so.
figure out something.
Probably it'll be more just accompanying Dave and asking Dave, hey, what do you think? What projects could we use this for? Maybe pick one for next year. I wouldn't go crazy next year. Maybe even, some of the other communities have more experienced people. Let them get really into using the
maybe.
equipment, and then we can jump in.
Borrow them. Okay.
So that's what's going on at the call. I think that was all I had. Let me see. Okay, we know about the Highland project. Employees. Oh, there's the annual dinner, November 30th. Anybody wants to go? It's over here at the Harbor House. Generally, the community pays for the council person, and you pay for your significant other. You want to go? It's a nice affair. Unfortunately, I have another commitment. I can't go to it.
Okay. Anything else? Any questions? Any other business? Old or new? Can I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss legal and personnel issues?
I'd like to make a motion to go in executive session for legal and personnel.
Second?
I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? We're going into executive session. We may be a while, and then we'll adjourn. We'll reconvene after executive.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to hire Joseph G. Hewitt as our secretary to Chesapeake Borough, the start date of December 3rd. We are going to hire him with a monthly salary of $3,670, $44,040 annually, through the month of June 2019, with a starting July 1st of 2019 at the monthly salary of $3,840, $46,080 annually. We are paid twice a month, 7th and 21st.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to hire Joseph G. Hewitt at the rate that Kathy cited. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Michael?
Yes, I move to authorize the settlement of the Chief Scott federal suit as recommended by our insurance counsel in accordance with the terms of settlement enumerated in an agreement dated 11/8/18, which will be made to be attached to the minutes of this meeting, and to further authorize the President of Council to execute any and all documents necessary or convenient to effectuate this agreement.
Do I have a second?
Second motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to agree to the terms of settlement as Michael stated. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Meeting to adjourn.
Do we have to have something to have with the committee?
What's that?
Do we have to have something for the committee?
What committee?
Michael and Lindsay?
I just appointed it, yeah.
Okay.
Just one last thing, we are putting the budgets together, so if you think of anything that's out of the norm, especially chair, for the part of the budget that you're a chair of, so let me know, okay? So I put it in the budget, any projects, any initiatives, you'll get another chance at it, but it's better to do it now than later, because then we can see how things tally up and have a problem defined before we have the budget meeting.
Everybody got that? Motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask you a question? What position did you guys just hire for?
Borough secretary.
Okay, thank you, because it wasn't said.
Yes.